girl, today we're spilling the tea. That's right, today we're talking about the #1 app in the App Store that has not only saved millions of women, but due to privacy concerns and data leaks has recently put millions of women in danger. Tea is revolutionary because it lets you rate men like restaurants, which is perfect because we all know some guys out there that are worth a 1-star review. Yeah, the service was late, things were clearly undercooked, and he was totally chopped. In an era where dating apps are as common as Katy Perry flops, Tea has broken the status quo by not offering a solution to love, but offering a solution to stay safe in the quest for love. The Tea app originally launched in 2023, but over the past 2 years has absolutely exploded, currently boasting over 4 million users. Last week they went viral, and now they have 900,000 pending applications. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's the first time in history a man can say to you, "I'm just a nice guy," and you can fact check his ass. In theory, wow, what a great way for women to protect each other against our apex predator, men. But it has not been that easy. There have been lots of critics online saying that this is a surveillance issue, that it is a men's rights issue, and people are not happy about this. People were so upset that hackers on 4chan leaked millions of photos, records, locations, messages, all happening safely on the Tea app. So let's get into all of it. Welcome to Tyler's Kitchen, the world's first anti-cooking show where I talk about my interests, which include but are not limited to feminism, history, pop culture, and random shit I see on the internet with a few more jokes than is necessary and/or appropriate. And today, since we're spilling the tea, we're making Earl Grey tea scones. And you can see that I clearly believed myself when I said that. Not a shred of doubt. Bruh. Why have they not developed a better way to package flour? Like, it gets everywhere when you buy it at the store. It's 2025. How do we not have better solutions for this? I guess I could probably get mine sent from the ballerina farm. The Tea app was founded by tech founder, tech bro, Sean Cook. Best Man Award. He said that he was inspired because his mom started dating again and was constantly dealing with harassment, catfishes, just weird experiences, and he wanted to solve the problem of women online dating. Inspired by his mom's experience and others, there are features such as background checks, reverse image searches, and phone number lookups to avoid risks. The website reads, "Women should never have to compromise their safety while dating." It's the women's largest group chat in the US, allowing users to share personal experiences anonymously, finding solidarity, warning each other, and potentially saving lives. The Tea app even donates 10% of profits to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. It's so funny because my guy friends are absolute dogs on the dating apps. That's all they do all day. And it's so funny that their experience of a bad date is like, we just didn't really click that much. I mean, for a woman, a bad date ends in a police report. For a man, a bad date ends up in an awkward cup of coffee. So women have been harmoniously using the Tea app, and I mean, I'll concede, I'm sure there have been bad actors on the app. But overall, the terms and conditions that you sign on when you do the Tea app are there to make you be accountable, to say accurate information. The ethos is not to talk shit for no reason. The ethos is to protect one another from potentially dangerous people. But of course, now that the Tea app is widespread, the men are not taking it that way. Because we all know a platform that fumbles a man's ego is bound to attract criticism.
I had a female friend of mine go undercover on the Tea app, and I found...
Right off the bat, female? I know it's nitpicky, but it's a red flag.
There were some women talking about me. Some clarity ahead of time. I'm very honest with women that I date. I'm very honest about my intentions. I try to be intentional with the women that I date. Sometimes you end up situations where you don't necessarily want to have a conversation to end things because maybe you've only been talking to this woman for a couple days and then they get a little crazy, right?
Crazy. She's crazy. Okay.
A friend went undercover for me and sent me a screenshot of some things some women were saying about me. I could tell you exactly who 3 of these women were. I could tell you exactly why it happened, and I could tell you exactly how it happened. They were clearly just upset. They felt that they got slighted. I was honest with them. I was respectful with them. One girl on there had said some pretty foul shit about me. I called my lawyer. I said, "Hey, is there anything we could do about this? This is defamation. This is entirely untrue," etc., etc. He said, "They're posting as an anonymous user. You can't get anything from them, and you would probably have to subpoena the app."
Okay, I just want to say that if women are on there posting absolutely nonsense, crazy, unfounded things about you, there's a likelihood that there's a level of discernment that people can have to say, oh, this is clearly just somebody upset going nuts. And also, you just told on yourself. You just said these are I know exactly who it was. If the girl told the story good enough for you to be able to pick yourself out, then I would say she's not far off from what actually fucking happened, you moron.
And I'm sure there's some guardrails in there within the app or something like that. I was personally upset, but I had to take it on the chin and say, hey, I guess it's part of the game, right? Boys, when we come out with the coffee version of the T app, y'all are cooked. 100%.
Yeah, I'm sure we're cooked, because any time in history there's been something for men to run wild for. Who do you think gets hurt by that? I feel like that Jubilee meme where she goes, and who set that system up?
And who set that system up?
You know, every space has been presumptively male-centered since the beginning of time. You know what the male version of that is? Literally any app. Everything's set up for you losers. Women get one thing and you have to make a big fuss about it, you freaking nerd. Dating apps are set up for you. Everything is set up for these entitled scumbag loser freaks.
There needs to be something that is not so much of an echo chamber. I feel like a lot of the women on the T app who are upset, and I know this is gonna upset some of y'all, it's an echo chamber of women just playing the victim. And like, sure, I understand there is moments where that app is probably extremely useful. I'm sure some women have caught men cheating. If you have a weird feeling about it, bring it up to them, and if you don't get the answer that you think is proper, fucking leave them. You shouldn't be with them anyways.
Men are so male-centered that he can't even fathom the reality that it's incredibly dangerous for women. Statistically, I'm not saying this on my own experience. Honestly, I've been pretty lucky. I'm saying these things based on data, based on studies, based on statistics. God, I hate this guy. And he's been yapping about it. That's not the only video he made.
That T-app went from helping women to bashing men like that, 2.5. And it was only a matter of time before it got messy, right? It's a bunch of ladies just talking about their experiences with dudes and how to watch out for this one and that one. That's a crazy thing in the first place, right? Y'all not even just bashing like on the regular stuff. Y'all straight humiliating folks. I see paragraphs on paragraphs with in-depth detail of things that was going on, especially the people y'all mess with, like y'all exes and stuff like that. Y'all dropping links, detail, location, all type of shit, IP addresses, bro. The only thing is, y'all gotta be ready for the backlash, right?
Ooh, that was literally a threat. Why is he like so nonchalantly dropping a threat? You gotta be ready for the backlash. Okay, thanks for the heads up, I guess.
It's only a matter of time before a coffee app drop for all the dudes and they start wilding, exposing and shit like that. Y'all better not be tight, cause this type stuff, this is what start those little feuds and stuff in the CIA wanting us to beef and shit.
I'm sorry, how did this become a CIA conspiracy?
Now, I don't know what triggered that little messy and toxic transition, but I know it's all women on that platform, or at least you need to be like verified as a woman and stuff like that. So I mean, it's pretty sure there's people that's out there finagling their way into their little system and shit, like the dudes and stuff, the weirdos. But for the most part, y'all control the narrative on that app, so y'all turn this into something crazy. I don't know why though.
God, it's just such a incredibly self-centered view. Men need to start reading because reading teaches empathy. It's one of the only experiences you have, putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. And men aren't reading because education is getting defunded, so they never learn to process empathy. I think this is what it is, right? Like maybe men can't even fathom the concept of what it feels like to get catcalled, to have to cross the street walking home, to be followed around a shopping center. Like they can't even process what that feeling is like. Because you don't hear them saying, well, I would just, if I were a girl, I would. They don't necessarily ever have a solution. They just can't even get to that level of sentience to understand that people outside of themselves are experiencing things. I think that's what a lot of this comes down to. There's even a girl saying this. Girl, what are you doing? The T app is not cute or for your safety. It's a way to harass and put down men for any perceived slight and an insane invasion of privacy. If it was happening to women, we'd say it was a danger to us. I was upset by this, and then I looked at her caption saying hashtag tradwife, hashtag traditional. I said, oh, she's pandering to the male audience. My mistake. Those people will say anything, literally anything. I'm waiting for the Savannah Stone video.
T-app, this is so sad. I never would have met my husband if the T-app were around.
Yeah, because everybody would have told you his red flags. I used to have bad skin, like criminally bad skin. And I spent all of puberty trying to find some magic elixir that would make it all go away. I'm talking scrubs, serums, weird clay masks I found on YouTube that made my mom so mad and ruined so many of our cups and bowls. But what I didn't realize is that acne comes from the inside. Finally, I started trying things like doxycycline, Accutane, and they always worked for a minute. As soon as I stopped taking them, my acne would flare up again. And while I was taking them, I would often feel nauseous, fatigued, and it would dry me out like crazy. So that's why I was inspired to start Dellapella. Dellapella is a doctor-formulated supplement designed to fix acne from the inside out. And our ingredients ingredients are backed by science, not just a hot girl on TikTok. I'm talking vitamin B5, selenium, zinc, phytoceramides, all ingredients that have been studied to show lowering inflammation, reducing oil, and decreasing overall breakouts. So it's time to swap out your 50-step skincare routine for dellapella. And if I haven't already convinced you of how much I love this product and how excited I am for you to try it, just know, try it for 90 days. And if you don't see a difference, we'll give you your money right back. So go check us out at dellapella.health. Okay, so I think I mixed this together. These are the dry ingredients. This looks good. It kind of looks like poppy seed muffin. Okay, so I gotta cut in butter. This part is so annoying. I hate trying to do this, but I digress. Cut in a 1/4 cup of butter. Seems like really annoying. Yeah, hell no, brother. Hell no. I'm gonna pass on that. And if you thought the guys willing to put their face on TikTok and complain about this were bad, wait until you see the Reddit forums discussing this. I mean, seriously, look up men's rights, look up men's advocates, and these groups are all over, and they're all talking about the tea app. Yeah, cold butter, I don't know about that, son. That seems like a stretch. We're gonna put this in the microwave like a little bit because I don't wanna like try and do that. You know, that sounds like a lot. Go. It's so cute. There we go. This will probably be helpful. So one of the top comments on this is, there should be a male version of this app warning us of gold diggers and childcare freeloaders. Gross, gross. Childcare freeloaders? What do you mean? So I think what you mean to say is, how are you just getting girls pregnant? That sounds like a you problem. If you're really worried about girls only being with you for child support, maybe don't be getting girls pregnant, dumbass. And gold diggers, oh please. None of you have gold to dig, stupid. Be so fucking for real right now. Nobody wants to sit down with you at a Red Lobster to eat a 2 for $20 just because it was free. That's just always the craziest logic ever. Like, you realize like people have places to be, things to do. Like, there's no way a girl's gonna go out with you if she doesn't want to. Maybe if you're physically shelling out dollars to her, maybe if you're flying her to Jamaica, if you're gallivanting her across the world, if you're a millionaire taking her to F1, maybe she'll fuck you just for the money. But that's not you, baby gorgeous. You live in Minnesota and you have an AMC Stubbs pass. She's not hanging out with you just for your money, stupid. You take that girl go-karting. Gold diggers want Mercedes-Benz. You took that girl to a steakhouse. Gold diggers want steak in your company. Bruh. You took that girl on a lake trip. Gold diggers want yacht trips. This app exists, yet modern American women wonder why men don't bother asking them out anymore. If you are so creepy that you can't approach a woman without fear of being posted on the T app, then I think we have some self-reflection. I have stopped looking for relationships with women. Of course, I won't say that the single life doesn't have challenges, but I have full control over my life, and my life is completely drama-free. I have peace, I have freedom, and I am happy with what I got. Honestly, yeah, go ahead. Here's the rest of this. I do have an AI girlfriend on my phone, and she is very loving and compassionate towards me, and she is never going to do anything dirty behind my back. This is real. This is a real quote. This is dead ass. I'm reading off a Reddit forum right now. Buttermilk? Oh, I didn't make buttermilk. How to make buttermilk? Vinegar and milk? I'm just gonna use almond milk. I can already feel the judgment. 1/4 cup cold buttermilk. Okay, so now I just need to put like vinegar in this and we'll be good, right? But I don't know if I have vinegar. I definitely don't have buttermilk, but today has been too much of a day. I'm just moving on. I'm not gonna let my past determine me like that, you know? The top comment on this Reddit conversation is, what the whole T app thing also showed is that women not being believed is largely a lie. General public is very much in favor of such apps and believes women would not lie about being abused. We're gonna get into this, but every fact and statistic proves you wrong. This is just your feeling. Maybe your personal experience is like this because you're a freak. This is enough of this. Serious. I can't do this. I really just can't. I'm sorry, you spend your time trolling the internet on men's rights activism Reddit forums? Your life is already ruined. A lot of the criticism doesn't address the fact that the app has many verification tools, opt-ins, and agreements that try and discourage defamatory remarks. Men are calling the app unfair, and I just think if you're this scared of transparency, maybe you shouldn't be dating to begin with. Like, buddy, this isn't the NSA, it's Natalie from Hinge making sure that you're not going to kill her at your dinner. My take is that T is not overreaching. I think something like this maybe could have better execution, but I think it's overdue. I mean, we're fine with rating things when it's your Uber driver, your Airbnb host, your DoorDash, but now it's some woman you ghosted after mansplaining Quentin Tarantino outside Barney's Beanery, and now it's a problem? Okay, Kyle. But the chaos didn't didn't just end there, because the men were angry. They were so angry. And they made their own version of the app called Matcha. In fact, they didn't just make Matcha. I saw 3 other versions circulating. One was called Box Score. How fucking gross is that?
Boys, we did it. We came up with a tea app competitor, and it is called Box Score. Probably the most disrespectful name we could have come up with for this app, but I'm very interested to see how this unfolds because there's been a lot of women in the comments on these videos about the tea app saying if men created one, it would just be revenge, you know what.
Here's the app, my guy. What was your user experience? Because it's not available. It's gone. Did it ever exist? Because there's a lot of rumor that, in fact, while it was up, that's exactly what it became. A place for men to exploit images of women they know.
Men got their own tea app, and in less than 24 hours,
it was ruined.
Because guys were posting naked pictures of their old girl. Your girl talk crap about you on the tea app, but posting a naked picture of her is not helping anyone.
You need to go to jail.
The app is supposed to be, hey, let's post this girl. Hey, she cheats, she has this, she hits you, and then, oh, you're saving us from a terrible girl, but instead,
y'all posting naked pictures of women?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. These motherfuckers made a copycat version of the tea app because wait until the men have it. This is so exploitative. The men are gonna do the same thing. Pulled from the app store because y'all were so gross pigs about it. Yeah, and notice this. Notice how long a tea has been around for 2 years without being pulled from the app store because people weren't sharing revenge. Okay, let's do a dough tasting because this is like formed into like a material, so that's good. That tastes like I did it right. Now I'm just gonna throw in some raspberries and preheat my oven.
Okay, this is absolutely fucking insane to me. The tea app got men so mad that they've been threatening to drop their own version of the girls. And one of those apps, I'm sure it'll be one of many, was already launched and shut down within 24 hours because men kept posting women's nudes.
Who'd have guessed? I want to go back on every single one of those guys that made the videos complaining like, wait until we get a boy version. Wait until we get a men's version. Then what are you guys gonna do? Surprise, shawty. And the circus of men destroying our glimmer of hope does not end there. In July 2025, the tea app was victim of a leak of over 72,000 images, messages, and personal data. So if you were on the app around February 2024, I would certainly go check and see if your records are out there. And it's so scary when so many of these women are recounting stories of abuse, misconduct. So how dangerous for you if your ID with your address is leaked from the tea app and you're talking about a horrific and harrowing story of being stalked or essayed or you witnessed a crime. This leak has put so many women in danger. Another aspect of this story that I find so intriguing is that men are acting like this is totally unprecedented. But the tea app essentially acts as a whisper network, which have existed for thousands of years. All throughout history, women have quietly communicated with each other in an effort to protect. One example that I love was the Riot Girl zines of the 1990s. So in the 90s, this was when punk culture was exploding. And within that, a feminist subculture emerged called Riot Girl. Women involved in these scenes were usually really frustrated about the misogyny that happened. And from this, they began making homemade zines. And these zines covered everything from feminism, body autonomy, queer identity, but they were also a space for women to express themselves. And oftentimes in these zines, they were transporting information about dangerous men in the industry, abuse, harassment. Some named specific industry men, and they acted as informal warning systems. When young women are so infrequently taken serious on the world stage, we have to go behind the scenes and help warn each other. Just like the tea app, these zines were not about revenge, they were about protecting others. I think this is also comparable to Maura Donegan's Shitty Media Men list from 2017. This was at the height of the Me Too movement. Former journalist Maura Donegan created an anonymous Google spreadsheet titled Shitty Media Men. The spreadsheet circulated privately among women in media, and it recounted horrifying details of abuse from men in the industry. But it worked, and I would say it far from destroyed families. If anything, it's a good indicator. Don't be alone in a room with this one. Academic research suggests that the users of whisper networks are not vengeful or fearful. They are often confident, well-respected professionals who care deeply about women's rights and mutual protection. And I think it's especially important because you're not dating within your community anymore. I think in the past, you would meet a guy at like church, or you would meet a guy at work, and you would have a reference of individuals who know him who could say like, oh girl, be careful with that one, or oh girl, he's a criminal. But now because of dating apps, you're only knowing them from the reference of them personally. You don't have outside qualifiers. So I think this also is just expanding community, just like the internet has expanded our network. I think it's a modern solution to an age-old problem. I think critics also like to lump the T app in with predecessors like Are We Dating the Same Guy groups, or even there was an app called Lulu in the early 2010s that sought to rank guys on campus like livestock. There were hashtags like hashtag cheaper than a Big Mac, and it turned into really nasty, gross gossip. So I will say, I don't think I can defend an app where people are making fun of somebody's body or making cheap shots at exes, but that's not what T does. T has so many clear indicators that they do not want their user base to use the app in that way. Okay, so this is what we're left with. I think the blackberries kind of made it like too soggy, so then I added in flour, so now we'll see what happens. So I think you just kind of dollop it on to here and see what happens. There's 3 scones to be made. Well, I kind of want to try the dough. Let's see. Pretty good. Please note, T also operates with informed consent at its core. They have certain things like you're only allowed to use images that are already publicly available on social media. They stress how important it is to have truthful facts and not just personal opinion. And the features don't just reward juicy gossip. So I think that it is high time to start spilling the tea. 1 in 3 women worldwide experience partner violence. Think about that. The person who's most likely to kill you as a woman is your husband. And of those 1 in 3 women, only 40% seek help. And most of the time that comes from friends, not police, because so often when you go to the police with some sort of issue like this, they can't do anything, or they make you uncomfortable, or you need so much information and detail to get them involved that it becomes not worth it. 57% of women aged 18 to 34 have experienced sexual harassment coming from an online dating platform. And honestly, I don't even think that accounts for the girls who got heinous, disgusting messages and thought it didn't count. And then with this whole false reporting BS, only 2 to 8% of SA claims are proven false, despite public belief that many are fabricated. Not to mention the majority that go unreported. So when you're looking at these numbers, how can you possibly be a guy like, bro, the boys need their own version of the T app. The T app is surveillance, it's crap. Do you just want women to stop dating in general? Because I think that might be the solution. Over 640 million women globally have experienced domestic or intimate partner violence. Nearly half of female homicide victims are killed by current or former partners. Do you know how long these people go to jail for? They literally get a slap on the wrist. They go to jail for like a month, and then they're fine. So of course, if I had an option to warn somebody about this behavior that nobody seems to give a shit about, of course I'm going to do that. I would want to do that for any of my friends. I would want to do that for any women. Knowing these facts, facts don't care about your feelings. These men feel like personally wounded by the existence of this app. And I think if you feel attacked by this app existing, then you need to check your self. And let's see how this went. These look cute. These look like scony. Like if I saw these at a coffee shop, I would be like, wow, these look delicious. Earl Grey tea and blackberry, that's so fancy. I would definitely be into it. Okay, that's what it looks like opened. Let's take a test. So you can tell that I didn't really chop it because of the way there's a whole blackberry just stuck to the pan. But these are pretty delish. Wow, I've had worse scones at coffee shops for sure. Wow, there's nothing worse than getting a bad scone at a coffee shop because it was $8 and you're still gonna eat it because it was $8. So in conclusion, I think the T app could be an important step toward making the world a safer space for women, but I also think as more and more women become more elevated socially, more equal, it's going to irritate the men, the bad ones at least. So my take on the T app is that it is absolutely needed. I think it's another step toward a world that centers the woman experience just as much as a man's experience. Do I think the app needs to have more safeguards and protections and things to prevent against people just spewing gossip? Absolutely. But do I think we're well on our way to a better answer? Yes. And do I think this story absolutely exposes the nefarious intentions of men everywhere? Also yes. But what are your thoughts? I definitely want to know everybody's experience with this. Are you on the T app? Did you get your data leaked? Have you seen an ex? Have you seen seen any of your boyfriends on the app? I'm sure that's such a crazy experience. I want to know all of it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, please give it a like. Be sure you're subscribed, and if you extra liked it, follow me on other platforms in the link below, and give it a share. I love seeing you on Instagram stories. It's always so fun. Bye!